I'm Olayinka Oderinde. I'm an educational psychologist and an advocate for a group of people in our society. I stand in for people who have special needs. 10 years ago, thereabout, I came across a young boy called Bibo. Bibo was 11 years old. But that day, the mother brought him to my school and said Bibo was in the preschool. Bibo was 11 years old, but he was in KG. And the mother said he has been repeating KG class many sessions. I took the boy in. I had no idea how to handle the case. But I took Bibo in, and I promised the mother we'll find a way around it. And this took me into a long discovery in the world of people with special needs. This is a group of people who, like I said, their tomorrows have already been defined. And that is why you and I need to sit together and redefine their tomorrow. Their tomorrows have been defined because they are called handicapped. They are called disabled. But in the course of my investigations, I discovered that these people are differently able. They are able, and I have seen many of them in their different areas of calling who have excelled. They are only different because of the condition of their birth. They have challenges. And the challenges can be physical, can be emotional, can be developmental, can be sensory, or a combination of many of this. Examples of people I'm talking about are people living with autism, people living with dyslexia, people living with cerebral palsy, people living with Down syndrome, and a host of others. Like I said, many of them have achieved a lot in their different fields. Many of them are world celebrities. And even in our own areas today, we have people who have achieved a lot in their fields. They are living normal lives. They can live normal lives. They can achieve what you and I can achieve and even more. They are raising families and developing children. These are people, the section of them who have not allowed their back, their yesterday, their before to determine their tomorrow. They have refused for the society to define them because of the limitations of their birth. However, there are a set of people who have not been so fortunate. And that is where my story stands. I served with government. And by the grace of God, I rose to the position of a permanent secretary. And in the course of my duty, I served also in this area. But I had no idea what these people have been facing or what their experience has been. However, like I said, I came across Bibo and some others like Bibo. And that was what took me into the world of people with special needs. And then it gave birth to what today I am glad God created me. Today I stand and I work with the Garnet Center for persons with special needs. What do we do at Garnet Center? We talk about these people. We bridge the gap. We explore their yesterdays. We look at their today to define their tomorrow. We stand in the gap and make a point to the society that these people are well able, but differently able, and can fulfill a future if they are given the opportunity. What did I see? Or what have been my experience since I joined or since I started the Garnet Center is a story that whenever parents come to me one major question they ask is, will my child be okay? What will happen to my daughter? What will happen to my son? There was a 67-year-old woman that came to my office one day and she said, "Ma, this is my last son. I am 67. What will happen when I die?" Many of them want me to define the future for their children who live with special needs. This has been because of the challenges they have been facing in our society, and especially in this part of the world, where we consider people with special needs as handicapped, where we consider them as not part of us. And they are faced with a lot of challenges. And one of the most important challenges that we face today, and I'm sure many of us here today are guilty of, is stigmatization. Parents of these children most times refuse to bring them out because they are stigmatized. Their parents, their brothers and sisters, much as they love them, do not want to bring them out. They don't take them to places of worship, because in church, they will not agree that they are part of the church. In the mosque, they will give them a special place. In schools, they are segregated. And when they see children play with them, they draw their children back so that they will not be inflicted by the misery that befell them. These children are faced with abuses. They are faced with hostility. I have seen in this part of the world the most unfair set of people who are looking for how to translate what we do to the Yoruba language. And do you know, I talked to my friend who is a professor of Yoruba studies, linguistics and Yoruba studies, and I asked her, "Prof, how do we describe cerebral palsy, which is a form of special needs? How do I say it in Yoruba?" Prof said, "Kò sí Yoruba." Which means, and she quickly said, "Ṣáwọn ọmọ ọ̀dẹ̀." If I ask you, you will say the same thing. Àwọn ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀yọ̀, àwọn ọmọ tí ò pé, àwọn dìndìnrìn. This is what they experience daily. Verbal hostility. These children experience physical hostility. I read the story of a teacher who continuously banged the head of a child with cerebral palsy, consistently abused the child because she was not forthcoming. A child that is autistic will bang his head and roll on the floor and do all manner of things because he has a behavioral problem. But the teacher, because of lack of knowledge, will tie the child down and give him lots of beatings and probably send him out of class. The children are faced with a lot of deprivations. Many schools, including government schools, turn them back, that they should go to special schools. Whereas there is a national policy on education that gives room for inclusive education. Not up to 10% of schools do inclusive education. As such, these children are deprived, and their parents take them back home. Recently, a 42-year-old, 42, was brought to my center because the siblings were not sure what the tomorrow holds for her. It is at 42 that they want me to define the tomorrow for a 42-year-old. I have another 34 who is about to come in now. I've been talking to the parents, I've been treating them, and there is no idea what will happen to this child. Because before now, when he was much younger, in the kindergarten stage, he was in school, and as he grew, they discovered the limitations he had. And schools regularly, continuously rejected him, and the parents locked him up. Until recently, they got to know about me, and they called me to come and assess the child at 34. What does the future hold for persons living with disabilities in our society. Even our parents, their parents, because of what I have mentioned, lock them up. Some, because they have to go to work, they can't carry these children along, drop out of work. Some struggle along. The child that is 2-year-old today will become 12 years old, will become 22-year-old. Will the mother continue to back him? There must be a definition for the tomorrow for these children. This is what we do at Garnet Center for persons with special needs. We hang on awareness. I know I don't have the time, but if I ask you, I know you don't know much. Recently, I met a lady who had a child. She was referred to me. She had a 2-year-old son, and she was to see me. And I asked her to put the child down. She put the child down, and I asked her, what is wrong? She said she didn't know. She was coming from church. That is one issue about us. We are very religious people, very spiritual. Everything is demonized. These children, one of the things we do with them is that we call them demon spirits. And when you sit with them in the bus, some people will come down. Some that want to come down, once they see the children, they don't want to enter the bus, because they are afraid that the calamity of the evil spirits will jump on them once they sit with these children. And do you know, many times they have called me names. They have called me Iyaro. They have called me Iya Disabled. And I asked them, a demon spirit flowing around me, have you seen me lose my hand because I relate with these children? The answer is no. This lady came with her 2-year-old and didn't know what was wrong with the child. And I asked her, once there are some of these things that you just know by seeing them. And the child was put on the floor. I asked her, have you heard the word cerebral palsy before? And she said no. And she was carrying a child that was 2-year-old. She had a 2-year-old son with cerebral palsy, and she had not been told what was wrong with the child. She had never heard the word cerebral palsy. That gave rise to a passion in me to source for funds and start a program on Rave FM called Garnet Half Hour. And by the grace of God, for 26 weeks, we talked about these conditions. This is what I'm here for. To call you and those who may listen to us after now, to see what we can do to redefine the future for children and adults living with special needs. Yes, they may be children, but they are also adults. Like I have told you, I have a 42-year-old in my center who has special needs, complicated. She has cerebral palsy, she's dull of hearing, and she's not able to talk. All together in one young lady. But I want to tell you that that lady was raped. She has 2 children. I have met the girls. They are doing well in school. These people are often vandalized. They are often abused. I met a lady some time ago who is crippled. And each time everybody left the house, the boys in the area will come into her room and rape her. And they did it consistently because of the limitation of strength that she has. These are things that people with special needs go through. What we want to define tomorrow. And like we have been told today, our tomorrow starts now. One of our own slogans is, the future starts now. And that is what we have been doing in Garnet Center. Redefining tomorrow. Calling the attention of the society to the needs of these people. And to the fact that you and I need to redefine our minds. We need to change our orientation to the need of these people and to their loved ones. So that even if you cannot support them, even if you cannot give them what they need to have a better tomorrow, you can at least show them some respect. You can at least show them some love. First of all, by removing hostility, particularly in the way we regard them, in the way we address them. And let us remove from the dictionary of the Yorubas, Ode, Odoyo. had once told people that it is those who maltreat these people that are in the real sense or dead. It is the weakest type of power to abuse or to be hostile to people who have no strength. These people do not have strength. I am calling upon you. I have an opportunity today to call you and others to task in respect of people who are living with special needs. You and I have needs. What do we want to do? I want us to start with awareness. Knowledge is power. Let us seek to know about their conditions. You and I need to know what these conditions are so that we can appropriately deal with the children and relate with them. I want to invite you to join me and to join others who have been supporting the cause of these children to develop, to create awareness in our immediate environment so that at least we will know that they are not demon spirits. So that they will know that it is not the fault of the mother or the fault of the father that a child has Down syndrome. It is just an extra chromosome in their blood. I want to call you today to change your attitude. Call people in the society to change their attitude towards these children. I want to ask you to do all you can do to create awareness. I'm mentioning awareness, awareness, and awareness. I'm calling upon you and all good-spirited Nigerians to give all you have to provide skills for these children. Many of them are educable. They can go to school. Let's provide educational skills. Those who are not educable, let us do all we can to give them vocational skills. Because tomorrow is just an hour away. They will soon become 40. And at 40, what will he do? What will she do? Whatever you can do to support them is what you and I need to do to provide a tomorrow that is befitting, not only for them, but for you, for your children, and for the society. I call upon you to join us to provide and to define the tomorrow of children with special needs. Thank you very much.